Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show and your first episode of the season of The Final Word. Faces new and old. It's been a minute, 7 months or so to be precise, maybe a little bit longer. I think the last time we did one of these was after Crystal Palace when we'd beaten them. I don't know why we haven't done one since. I think Jack refused to do it. You know, I've had a few transfer issues and that's what's been going on, but it feels great to be back. It feels great to be the football season to be back upon us, and it just feels great to be able to talk Leeds United with like-minded folk, top lads. So yeah, I'm excited, man. We'll check in with everyone. Please, everyone, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, get your comments in, hit the notification bell. Make sure you follow all the other contributors as well. Dan over on the Twitter, Instagram, Luke ought to know better, Twitter, Instagram, the lot, and obviously Jack City, music, everything. He's just a jack of all trades, is the lot. So yeah, let me say hello then. We'll start with Jack, just because he's my safety blanket at this moment in time. So he's my go-to. So Jack City, how are you, mate? Are you well?
I'm all right, man. Yeah, good to be back. Genuinely, it's a blast from the past, isn't it? It feels strange, you know. Back in the building.
Back in the building. It looks like people are saying, I've got an echo. Fuck off, man. It must be, yeah, my bad. I don't know. Is it still echoing now? Let me know in the chat, folks. We'll get to it. But you well, Jack, yeah?
Yeah, man, yeah. Steady away, yeah.
Yeah, you're a home away fan now, aren't you, these days?
I know. I can't stop getting to games, to be fair. I don't know what. I've just sort of hit the mother load. And once you go to a few, you just, everybody starts giving you tickets, don't they? So it's just one of them things, really. But I can't turn them down, so I'm off again tomorrow.
Yeah.
I've gone from never been to can't stop going.
Yeah. Good times, mate. The boys are back in town, as Michael says in the chat. Luke, how are you, mate? Are you well?
Are you well? Are you well? Are you well? No, there's no echo, mate. Really well, mate. Good to be back. It's like a little high school reunion in it. We've all had a bit of a refresh and we're back. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this season, mate. Really looking forward to it, as I always am, I suppose. But I just think we had such a. I know Palace was the last game, but we had such a. It was unfortunate that we didn't get to speak about such a great end to the last season and look forward to hopefully having some more success this season and starting off on the right foot, which we already have.
Yeah, we definitely have. Someone's just said there's a bit of reverb at my end, and I'm looking at my soundboard saying, I think there is reverb on here somewhere, but fuck knows. I won't
look at you showing that new airline off any opportunity.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a button down here somewhere.
Mate, do you know when I had it done as well? Look, this is the thing. She went, I'll start at the back. I went, the back? What are you on about? There's no wrong with back. But apparently there was. I'm
surprised to find the right tone of ginger for you anyway, to be fair.
The thing is, I'm not actually ginger up here. It's just a beard, man. It's just I dye it just for men ginger. Although, to be fair, I've got grey now. Got a bit of grey, so I can get an old
like you've been licking cat's tray. not cat's tray, cat's milk. Cat's tray something else, isn't it?
You getting stuck into litter tray and that. Fucking
probably that same effect, like, I don't know.
I definitely will. And I don't know if we could call him a new face. Obviously, the coach of the White Rose. The Yorkshire Roses, was it? White Rose? I don't know, but the trophy's just there. I've still got it. I've fucking still got it.
Like robbery.
Yeah. Exceptional. Danny, how are you doing, mate? You well?
Yeah, good, thank you. Good to see you back as well. And good result on Saturday, so I think we're all in a bit of a good mood to get tonight going, really.
Yeah, definitely. Someone's just said Gaffer in the chat. There you go. Summers has said he was bald at 40.
I can't sub you off in this, though, can I?
No, yeah, I was fucking raging with you, mate. Number went up. That's it. Come on, Joe, you've had enough now. They just got in down my side, haven't they?
I pretended it was so you could get a standing ovation as well.
Yeah. I think
you did your best to blame me for some reason.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
You got rinsed and then it was my fault. So it was a remarkable
but I didn't get
moment.
rinsed by a player that played for Leeds United in Simon Johnson. So it's not that bad, is it, really? Do you know what I mean? Not that bad. I don't think. I don't know. Listen, folks, we've got a bit of a running order. We'll talk about obviously yesterday's game. It's transfer window, so we'll touch on transfers as well. Mudryk drama, Delap potentially going to Forest now, and that being done. What we need in the transfer window, what's left of it anyway, and then have a little chat about tomorrow's game as well. What you do from an 11 perspective. Because obviously we play Forest again tomorrow night. I'm not that fussed about it, but we'll get into it. Obviously, I want us to win, but it is what it is. But let's start with Forest. I've said loads already on the channel. I think the great thing is we've already got an away win on the board. But like people have reminded me, we did get an away win early last season against Wolves and still only then ended up with 2. So maybe I went a bit too early in glamorizing it from then. But you know me, I'm a bit of a passion merchant. If we win a game of football, I say we're winning Europe. You know what I mean? We're doing it. So, Jack, we'll start with you, mate. We'll go in the same order that we said hello to folk. You were at the game. I thought first half we were decent. I thought, just give me you don't need to hear from me. Give me your thoughts on Forest.
I thought, first 25, 30 minutes, I thought we were mint, to be fair. I thought we were like, they sort of came out half decent, and then I thought we took over, to be fair. And then game were just proper scrappy. What I would say was that I'm always pretty confident going into season in general, but this year there's a bit more expectation among us. And I know it was a scrappy game, and there wasn't really that much football being played, but it did feel like it were 2 Premier League teams up against each other. Do you know what I mean? I certainly wouldn't have been... There wasn't a lot of panic in me yesterday. I didn't really think they were creating much. It was just a bit of a scrappy game, but I just think I love the resilience of us from last year. And if we're going into the season again like at it, where I just think don't really look like we're going to concede like shitty goals, like poor goals. We just look like a solid unit all the time, and I do think the players turn up every time. It does makes me want to go watch them. I don't mind sitting there through a bit of a scrappy game, just thinking, well, at least they're all putting it in here. They're not going to shirk it, or we're not going to get beat 1-0 for lack of effort or something. It's like, and I always think because I thought Stach, funnily enough, was probably one of the worst games he's had. And then, but you keep your players on that can produce individual moments, and then he does, doesn't he? So it's like, he's sort of worth... I think him and Ampadu in there, and I don't know, it'd be interesting to see what Farke does going forward, like with additions that we've got and stuff. So, and that big Mykhailo looks decent, doesn't he? So, he looks like a big unit, and
Mykhailo. I was like that then. Is he on about Mudryk potentially coming in? I didn't know.
No, he won't. When Mudryk playing centre back against.
Well, but when you just said big Mykhailo,
I know, but there's no point me trying to say his name. I presumed everybody would know what I was on about.
Mate, do you know?
The new Gadge, the new massive Gadge.
Yeah.
But yeah, he looked decent and stuff. So, and it is, coming into, because it does worry me a bit that in general, like I know he's looked good in pre-season and stuff, but Pascal gets a bit of shit sometimes, but sometimes I just think it's better devil sometimes. He's a big unit, isn't he, Pascal? And he, again, don't get bullied by any centre forwards and stuff. So, but he does look like a top player, to be fair. So, see what happens with him. But
yeah, happy days, mate. I think you've hit nail on the head there. When you talk about as well, obviously being back in Yorkshire, I see a lot more Leeds fans than I previously did, and I think, Jack, we've lost. If we go back to last season, it's like, is it one game in about 16 or something like that?
Yeah, that's what I mean. The resilience of us, though. It's because I started to go to all away games to back end of year, and I can't recall losing one.
That's what I mean. It's quite a shock that we've only won 2 last season away from home. Isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, it's mad. Luke, your thoughts on Forest, mate? What are you saying?
Yeah, so I was watching it on really patchy internet from the seaside. That is Skipsy Sands. I was with the girls. I took them away, but I got a couple of hours break to go watch it. Listen to it, on radio. And obviously I didn't listen to it. I use the international radio that most people probably listen to it on. But yeah, do you know what? There's a couple of things I think that gave us that result. And I think firstly, they missed Elliot Anderson massively. I think McAtee came in and did quite a good job. I thought he was one of their better players, but I think Elliot Anderson's obviously a level above. And also James Trafford obviously made some couple of really important saves in that game, where you just feel we've got this level now of trust in the back three and the goalkeeper. There's not really many mistakes in there anymore. Pascal had a mistake in him. Whoever was playing in goal for us last season pretty much had a mistake in him. So we've upgraded in the areas that we want to upgrade in. And look, bring Harry Wilson. I still think he's got a little bit to do to hit the ground running, but it's to be expected. But yeah, I thought it was a good all-round performance. But I think those specific changes and upgrades, and in their case, a downgrade, probably won us that game. We kept on battling to the final whistle, and that's ultimately what, from a set piece, Anton Stach, we know how capable he can be. But what I did find interesting was that Harry Wilson came off for Noah Okafor. Now, I think that's going to be a mainstay over the majority of the season. I don't think there's going to be many games we're going to see both Harry Wilson and Noah Okafor start, apart from the home games. When last season, Farker he used to have a tinker with the teams. I think Brendan Aronson's going to be in there to win the ball in dangerous positions, final third of the pitch. He's not going to win you many games by winning penalties or scoring winning goals or massive assists. But what he does do, he spoils, and he does it all game. So, I think for me, really good result, and it excites me this season. But as you say, let's not get too carried away too early. But all the signs are good.
Yeah, they are. They are. Talking about getting carried away, Danny. Obviously, I did a video yesterday, and we've been chatting throughout the day. And you mentioned how you disagreed with a few bits that I'd said. So, what are your overriding thoughts then on the back of yesterday's result?
Yeah, I just think
Saturday's. Sorry.
Yeah, I think when it's the early stage of the season, I don't think you can look too much into the actual result and sort of points tally in it, because there's more than enough seasons where you get to sort of February, March time, and you can't even remember what the first game of the season was, but it does generally set a pattern of how you want to play and how you want to approach the game. I thought yesterday, sorry, I think I've done what you've done. I thought Saturday pointed towards that everything is going to be built from the back forward. As I was talking to you today, and I was on about the sort of the stats from the game, I think one of the key things was we had 11 shots and 4 of them were from the centre halves. And I looked into it a bit more, and that is the only time since sort of the middle of last season, I think, that centre backs have had over 30% of the shots in a game. So it just shows that we're relying heavily on them just to not just keep the goals out, but they are providing a massive threat as well. And I think that's going to point towards what they're looking to do this season is stay strong, stay stable, but then capitalise on, I don't know whether it was Luke or Jack that said earlier on the moments like Stach's free kick and things like that. I think they're going to be key this season, which is also probably what we're going to come on to later about the transfer window. I think we do need difference makers in the team, because if we are going to be a solid, stable unit there at the back, I think we do need something that will sort of either unlock a defence or give us a different point of sort of a different focal point up front, whether it be we need another striker in, so in some games we can go 2 up front. But I think what was really key is on the stats as well, in tackles, interceptions and duels, we won all of them numbers. So we more than doubled their tackles. We more than, I think it was 5 times the amount of interceptions that they had in the game. That's what we had. I think it was 15-2. And it was 65-59 on duels as well. So it just shows how sort of solid we were and up for the game. And I think that's going to translate into the rest of the season, as we're going to start from a solid base at the back and then maybe look to add these moments in the game. Sort of the mentality is when you go away from home, you've already got a point as you kick off. Anything else, we will build on that. But let's try to keep that first of all.
Yeah. Pretty decent assessment in it, Jack. There, and I think we're a set piece side as well, aren't we? Do you know what I mean? Obviously there was a couple of chances from open play. Obviously the one that Harry Wilson puts in the back of the net. I know he's offside, but that move was really great. But outside of that, there wasn't much. But what I will say for this side, comparative to, say, under Bielsa, the last time, we were decent in the Premier League, you could argue the difference being that we're awesome at set pieces. I think it's, and getting a throw now excites me. If it's in the final third of the pitch, I get excited. I never thought that would be a thing. But, when you see Ampadu, clocking it up, you're thinking, come on, we can get something from this, because I expect our players now to be first to the ball,
Yeah. We've got some big lads, haven't we? Some big units, Stach. Ampadu's a physical fella, and he'd be all... I won't try and say Mudryk again. I'll just leave him to it. But even like Rodon's mobile and he gets about. There aren't many players that are... Obviously, Calvert-Lewin up top is a massive target man for us and like unbelievably important for us. And like in games like that, not that Peru or anything is even remotely comparable, but you're just never in a million years getting 5% what you get out of DCL in a game like that. It's not about creating a chance for him even him being able to particularly hold the ball up that much the other day. It wasn't even like he were... But he's a proper presence, isn't he? And like you say, from set pieces and stuff, he's a defender's nightmare, isn't he, DCL? You just... Because it doesn't matter what... And especially away from home, it's like... It's mint when he's banging goals in, because that's when you sort of see how good he is at football, but it's all other side of it that he does. And that's what I mean through teams. So that's that bit difference between sort of Bielsa and Farke for me as well. Like, but I don't really care what I'm watching, truth be told, as long as everybody's absolutely bang at it. I don't really... It genuinely comes down to effort and going away from home and just being like proper in the game from the first minute to the last minute, and always feeling like we can get back into the game, which we did a lot last year, when we went 3-1 down to Chelsea or whatever it were away from home. It's like Farke's created that Bielsa energy where you think you only need 5 minutes here. He's created that type of energy, but just in a completely... I won't say a completely different style of football. So I don't think it's like Farke's boring or something. But I do think like Dan said with the moments, it's like I think we will be quite reliant. But I think most teams are reliant on moments as well, aren't they? In fairness, even top teams, you can be in the game.
Arsenal are set piece FC, aren't they?
Yeah,
won the league last season.
Exactly. Yeah, but Man
I think
City,
what you said there,
in big games
on the how they're up for it and the smothering teams and things like that. Another thing that I saw was they had 0.13 XG in open play, did Forest, and it's one of the lowest that they've had since they've come back into the Premier League. And I think that goes to show what you've just said with how they were in the face, they smothered them, they got the blocks in, they got the interceptions in, and they didn't give them any open play possibilities. And again, you could say that they were trying to do what we did with the long throws and things like that. But it's a good sign that if you're stopping a team that, they've had one good season, one bad season, but still a good team with some good creative players in there, probably better creative players than what we had on the pitch. And we still stopped them and reduced them to one of the lowest XG from open play, that they've had since they've been back in the league.
Yeah, it's massive. They have that X factor, don't they, in Morgan Gibbs-White? Whenever he got on the ball, he looks a level above, like what we have personally. I think in them areas, Luke.
I think he's injured now.
Is he? Did he get injured on the back of it? Yeah. Yeah,
I think so. He said in his press conference today that he's definitely not playing tomorrow, but he's a doubt for the upcoming games as well.
Yeah. Luke, in terms of the result, because I've spoken to Jack about this over the weekend, for me, it's a big result because I expect, and maybe again I'm over-egging it, but I expect us to be competing come the end of the season for a similar sort of position as a Nottingham Forest this season. Is that wild to think that? I mean, I think they're a very good side. I think they'll get better under Glasner. Maybe we got them at the right time because I do think, Glasner's a great manager. Look what he's done at Palace. They won fucking 3 trophies in his time there, and they didn't win out fucking prior to that. It's madness. He's done great stuff. So he's clearly a top coach. Where do you stand on that? On it being a result that could maybe?
Yeah, I agree. Obviously, we don't want to be finishing anywhere near Notts Forest did last season.
No,
based on that. But I mean, they've been established for a couple more years than us. They got into Europe. They've got, we would love to have had that opportunity. So to say we're competitive, I truly think that we are probably a stronger side than them. Not man for man, but as a unit, as a collective. I think they've probably got individually better players. And you mentioned Morgan Gibbs-White. He's probably the best player on the field by a long shot. On his day, but like you say, we smothered him. We made life really, really difficult for him, and I'm not sure he likes that. And if we can do that with, it's going to be a little bit more difficult when we're playing the likes of Arsenal and Chelsea and City when they've got more than one difference maker. Don't get me wrong, but I don't see why not. I fully expect Forest to be mid-table-ish again. Sorry, not again, but sort of mid to lower end of the middle. So probably 12th, 13th. And I expect to. I don't see why we can't finish 10th this season.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Before we do move on to transfers and stuff like that, because I don't want to overdo the Forest result. I think we've said it is pretty. We've said enough already. I think in such a short space of time. Obviously, normally we do like pre-season predictions and all that, but I just want to gauge actually from you folks, because I don't know. Obviously, we haven't spoke about it before. Where you expect, like, what are your hopes for Leeds United this season? Danny, I'll come to you first. Like, where do you think we can go with this season?
I think the Europe shouts in the long run could sort of hamstring us really. With the 70% ratio, does it go up to 80% if you're in Europe on the wage bill and you've got to comply with the European regulations? I think from the club, they had the long-term plan of they have to build off 3 steady seasons in the league. I think realistically, anywhere between 10th and 14th is probably the realistic aim. It also gives you that sort of buffer of the home games you can go for a bit more. If you're not aiming for them top European spots, you can, afford to go for a few more games, or the opposite of it. If you've got a point at home and you're under pressure, you can actually just shut up shop rather than, having to go for the game and probably losing it. I do think that for the best of the club and for the European rules, if they got in Europe, I do think it would be a negative thing. If you look at...
Danny, I cannot subscribe to this notion that getting in Europe is negative.
It's not for the actual fans, for the football itself. It's for the volume of players that you have to get in, but then you also have to comply with the rules that they set out for the squad cost ratio and things like that. I think for a team that's coming up, like Sunderland, they found it very hard to comply with that this season. That's why they've had one player on a free that's signed so far, because the players that they were going for, they were trying to blow people out of the water with the wage budget. They've got in Europe now, and now they're finding it hard to balance the books. So then they're going into a European season this season with one new signing on a free, Mounier, who was probably past it 2-3 years ago, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I just think that it's going to have a massive effect on them this season. If they pick up 2 or 3 injuries, they've got a game on a Thursday, then they've got a game on a Sunday. Then it's also the things of the fans. You're not getting your Saturday kickoffs anymore. It's Sunday every week. You've got Thursday game. Some fans might have to compromise between the games and things. I just think for a new Premier League team, I just think it's something that you've got to look at in sort of year 4, year 5 to actually be sustainable for the club, to build the club. So for me, this season, anything sort of between 10th and 14th is a brilliant season.
Now, don't get me wrong. I don't disagree. 10th to 14th, brilliant season. Staying in the Premier League, good season. Like, them's the facts of it, right? Obviously, if we finish 17th, it'd be considered a poor season. But in the long run, amazing. We stayed in the Premier League. That's what it's about, right? I just, as a fan, and I hear what you're saying. I know you obviously go to matches and you're not going to be turning down a European spot.
No.
Like, but I just think it's mad that, and maybe that's something for the fucking powers that be that make these rules, that actually fans are debating whether it's a good thing to get into Europe or not. It's fucking mental, if you ask me. And in all honesty, if you want me to strip it back even further, I think the shine of Europe is getting shitter for clubs because every man and his fucking dog can get in there these days. So when you go, we're in conference, it's like, and what? Fucking, I don't know, Leicester were or whatever. It's just like everybody. Like, and when you do get in Europe, if you're an English side, you're expected to fucking win it. And if you don't, it's considered shit. I'd love personally just strip it all back to one fucking European competition and it actually means something. I know they're not going to do that. It's all about money. And that's a real little rant I've gone on there. But yeah, Jack, I'll come to you with that stuff. Like, tell me your thoughts on the European stuff. Because I know, Jack, I remember us saying like 7 teams a good season and you were like, no. And it not that you didn't think Premier League survival, but you always want more. So I'd imagine you'd be like, yeah, give me fucking Champions League right here, right now.
Yeah, let's go win league. No, you just the 17th stuff from last year was like, it's all right. Everybody's saying that at the start of the season, but ultimately that's a poor season to be a Leeds fan in, isn't it? So trying to fend everybody off while saying, well, you told me at the start of the season that you'd take 17th, and that means if you're going to take 17th, that means you're not getting any higher than 16th the whole season, are you? So, you're in relegation zone far too often than I'd like. So if you're aiming for 10th and you end up being 14th, 15th, that is the way to get Premier League survival, isn't it? And ultimately, as much as I take on board, Dan, what you're saying about money and that, and I know what you're saying as a fan, you'd still take Europe. But what concerns me is I don't know if players like Stach and stuff are going, right, well, I'll tell you what then, I'll be 14th in league for the next 3 years, and then when Gadger from 49ers says that we're ready to go for Europe, I don't think it. I think if it's there to take, I just think you have to take it. If you're 6 points off it, I just think you've got to go and get it. I don't think you can go, well, no, let's not. But I know you're not saying that, by the way, Dan. Like you're going to go into a game trying to lose a game of football. I just mean I do think the 49ers will have a plan in place for whatever position we get, including relegation. In all truth,
I think we've got to take into account the additional finances we will receive for being in a European competition if we were to get there. You've got to take that into account. I appreciate that it's the percentage drops, Dan, as you said, but in terms of
they also say that the Conference League and the Europa League, if you don't get to I think it's the quarter final and have big attendances along the way, you actually lose money being in them competitions.
Mate, if we get there, we're fucking winning it anyway.
Yeah.
In this, the sacrifice of being successful, though. If you're going to be good, you've got to be good, aren't you? You can't just be good and then shit. Sometimes good, sometimes
you've got to do it from
a
stable base. Like I think Villa are finding out at the moment with the base that they had. They paid quite high wages to a few players. Then them players have gone, and they don't have the quality throughout the full squad. And they're finding it hard to recycle the players that have left. But
I think that'll happen to us whether we're getting Europe or not, is my point. Because I think the better players that are here will just use us as a stepping stone, and then we're really stuck then. So I proper appreciate what you're saying. It's I just don't. My take home would be, I think if it's there, if we're 6 points off it, I just think you've just got to go and take it while it's there.
Yeah. Well, it's about 55 points for 8th.
Yeah.
In the last few seasons.
I mean, I don't actually think we'll achieve that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I do think we can finish 10th, and I do think we can sort of be having a little side eye at it, having a bit of a laugh towards the end of the season, really.
Have you decided that as well?
Oh, yeah, my decision. I took that decision early on, yeah.
Have you been up for it again?
He's decided that. He's had a word with powers that be and said, I have decided we are getting 10th. Luke, give me your thoughts on where we finish. I think you said 10th as well, actually.
Yeah, as I said before, I don't think 10th's outlandish either. I think we're probably getting a little bit ahead of ourselves thinking about Europe. In realist terms, I think there's some really strong squads in that league this season. Look, there's been some funny results on the opening weekend, but over the course of the season, things
it'll revert to the mean, won't it? People are getting gassed about newly promoted sides. Fucking, I've seen someone on about, Ipswich are staying up. They've got NC, forgetting that they had NC last time they were here and stuff like. It's like, what are you going on about, man?
I think 10th is a great shout. I think an improvement, but I also don't think we should be catfished about last season's finishing position, because realistically we had a really good run towards the end of the season, one of the best runs ever. And I think if we take that out of there, we're in a relegation battle, aren't we? Really, if we don't have such a good running. So because we were right up until that run. So let's not think that because we finished 14th, we have this, this expectancy or entitlement to finish there again. We're still going to have to work really, really hard, and to finish 14th in the Premier League with the funds that we've got and everything else that goes with it is still successful. Let's not beat around the bush. But I'd also, as I say, I think because of the strength in depth, and obviously we'll come on to where we need some more depth in it shortly. But I think 10th between 10th and maybe even 15th is a good season.
100%. I think we're all in agreement, really. Anywhere between 10 to 14th, aren't we? I think that's what. I think
providing you're aiming that way that's my point. Matt, if you finish 15th but you've been 17th all season, that is a very different looking season, isn't it? If you that's what I'm saying. If we're never anywhere near relegation and then we end up being 15th, that's the season I'm taking. I don't want this 17th job is horrendous to me. It freaks me out.
But having said all that I have said as well, I am ready.
I love that, mate. I love that. Right, let's switch it over to transfers then. We were going to talk a little bit on Delap because it seemed, but that looks like he's going Forest now. So we don't really need to have to touch on that. Bit of a shame because I do really
I would like him. I would,
same.
To touch on it, I would have loved him. And we talk about there being having all these set pieces. I'm sure Rory's chucked her through into the box for him like Ampadu could. Do you know what I mean? So,
you want a page of notes on what I'm telling you about today about Delap, and then the news came through now.
He's told me to send it over to Wolf. Send it over to the Forest.
Does that mean that Jesus is going then? Jesus is going to not going. Sorry,
I don't know. I don't actually know because. You know what fucking Marinakis is like? I think he looked at that game at weekend and just thought, fucking hell, I'm changing this immediately. You know what I mean?
Last season was one of the first times that he played a 3-4-3. I think when he were at Frankfurt and stuff, he generally played a 3-5-2. So I don't know whether that's something that he's going to look to go back to and go with the front two at Forest.
Nice. It'd be interesting. He's a good manager. I'm interested to see what he does at Forest. Why, Jack? Every time I said he's a good manager, you've smirked.
Well, because you must know what's coming now. Come on, then. Is he your new favourite manager? Because you seem to you pick one every month. You go through a cycle of your new favourite manager.
To be honest, I wouldn't have said so. I don't think he's my new favourite. If I'm honest, it pains me to say it, but
Chrissy.
No, I think, and it's not just based on tonight's result. I think Chelsea are going to run Arsenal a lot closer than people think because of Alonso. I think, he's probably my favourite outside of Daniel Farke, if I'm being totally honest.
Someone will blow up there at Chelsea and they'll all fall out with each other again.
Yeah, probably. Right, let's talk transfers there. We'll start with Mudryk, Mykhailo Mudryk. It seems Chelsea have rejected. Actually, first of all, before we do that, I've been quite surprised at some of the takes online about it. It blows my mind when they go, "Why should we train another team's player?" I don't care if he stays or whatever. My take is, okay, we might be improving his value for them or whatever, but if we succeed in doing that for Chelsea, that means he's had an amazing season at Leeds United. So why would I be bothered if then he had to go back there? It means Leeds United have had a good season. We've, got more revenue, all that sort of stuff, and then we replace him. You know what I mean? Are you all happy with taking him just on a loan? If that was an option, what are your thoughts on that?
I think for me, Joe, the real one about Mudryk is he hasn't played a lot of football in the last couple of seasons. And if Chelsea, if rumours are to be believed, they want a commitment that he's going to get enough game time to come to us. Now, I don't think that's a smart move because if we have to play him, then it might be rusty. Look, it might be an absolute godsend. It might come in and hit the ground running and be an absolute gem for us. But more often than not, probably not. Let's really be honest. If he hasn't played for a couple of seasons, there's a reason they want to offload him. So he's on probably. I think we've offered to pay 50%, and they want 100% of his wages covering. I think he's on mega money.
Yeah, beyond that.
So for me, it's in the balance, and it all depends on those commitments from the club.
Yeah.
In terms of playing times and things like that.
Yeah, Dan, we were speaking about it earlier, actually, weren't we, Dan? Obviously, being dictated to by another club that a player has to play minutes. And we know Daniel Farke's not going to accept that. And any manager worth his salt shouldn't really accept that, right, Dan?
Yeah, the thing we were talking about earlier when I'm managing a second team and you get, obviously, you've got your squad every week in, week out. You've got your lads that are good enough for second team level. Sometimes they don't get in the first team, anything like that. And you've got that core that's with that team every single week. Now, you also have a core within the first team who play week in, week out. Sometimes you get lads that are on the bench week in, week out for a first team. You get told in the second team, right, for the next 2 weeks, you've got my centre forward. You have to play him, give him minutes. It's one club, blah, blah, blah. Now, for a manager of a second team, I know it's at a crazy lower standard, but to then disrupt your team, to upset your player, who you in your heart of hearts actually want to play, and you may actually believe in your heart of hearts that he's better than the guy that's dropping down from the bench. So, there might be a week where Farke thinks Okafor is absolutely suited for this game rather than Mudryk, but I've got a clause that's hanging over my head and I've been told by the board that I have to play him. Now, for him, for his sort of, personal pride and the way that he may go about the game, he would just say, no chance, I'm playing who I want to play, which then may cause problems and things like that. Is that a headache? Then is that something you get asked about in a press conference, or is that something that comes up every time, you're naming your team? Are you thinking about it yourself? Are you doubting your own team selection? Are you doubting the player that you know that is good enough, that there's a separate reason keeping him out of that team? And I just think that for the team spirit, for the morale, things like that, I don't know if you take on a clause like that. The wages and things like that, I'm not bothered about. That will be budgeted for.
Yeah.
If they stay in with the budget, that's fine. It's up to them how they want to, it's one pot. If they want to put this to a winger, put this to a centre forward, put it to whoever, they're going to calculate that. That's fine. They're going to stay within the regulations, which they've stated over and over and over again. Sometimes be a little bit too much cautious, but that you would probably prefer them to be that way than looking at deducted points and things like that. But I think it's more the principle of the manager and how the manager feels towards that. But then what that could do is that could put him under pressure, and the board could be then, if they're looking for a reason to get rid of him or something like that, they could be saying, look, we signed a contract. You knew the terms of this contract before we took this player on, and you're not doing it. But then how does he show his face in front of Okafor or someone like that if he's taking him out of the team just because of a clause in a contract? So for me, I would 100% take him. The wage is not a factor, but any clause that dictates to a manager how he should pick his team, no, not for me.
Yeah. No, I think that's a great point. A lot of the lads were not nodding along with you there as well, and I agree completely. Obviously, Chelsea are dodgy. They're very shrewd. They fucking move the goalposts all the time, it seems, from a financial perspective in order to get round all the rules and all that sort of stuff. And they have clubs like Strasbourg that'll fucking just do as they're told as well. That's like that first team, second team you've just mentioned. Obviously, like you said, it's not, it's worlds apart, but it's the principle's still the same. Do you know what I mean? And one thing that's, I guess, a good thing, a shining light, Jack, is the reports are Mudryk wants to stay in the Premier League, and Mudryk's happy with the move to Leeds United. So that's, and it shows that the deal's not dead in the water, right? So that's a good sign, isn't it? That the player hasn't just gone, yeah, I'll go to Strasbourg then. He's saying, no, I know enough in my ability to still be able to do a job in the Premier League. Let me go to Leeds.
Yeah, and there's ambition to that, isn't there, as well?
Yeah.
Because, he could. It's definitely easier, isn't it, to go... You're fleeing out effectively. No, and then there's no microphone. There's no microscope on you.
Exactly.
Whereas if you stay in Premier League, there really is, isn't there?
Yeah.
Just on what Dan was saying, then my worry would be that that's not in the clause, but there's a big rumor about it, and then that's all anybody's ever banging on about. So, like you're saying, when Farke does make his decision, and Mudryk's in, legitimately being played. And then all the chat is that there's this Farke's got his, like he's got his arms tied up, behind his back or whatever. That'd be an even worse rumour. But I mean, Farke wouldn't. It would not do that.
No,
I think it'd be. I mean, you could understand it at some clubs, to be fair, but I don't know. And when he's not played for a couple of years, I think we're doing them a favour, truth be told, while getting a lot, potentially a massive upside. But I don't think it's just 100% nailed on. I would 100% take him. I don't think it's 100% nailed on that he's going to be the man. And I don't think he should come into the team being the man anyway. So if he proves to be the man, then long may the man continue.
Yeah,
isn't he? Then we all go, well, he's the man. And it doesn't matter.
Like people, I've seen it in the comments coming in, and I will get to super chats at the end of the show, folks, and member chats and stuff. So if you do want to get them in, I will address them at the end, folks. Save it. But what does me head in sometimes? It's a bit short-sighted. Like when people say, "Well, he's been shit at Chelsea," forgetting that they paid 100 million for him prior to that, forgetting that he was one of the most coveted young up-and-coming wingers in fucking Europe before that. The fact that Arsenal and Chelsea went toe-to-toe to get him over the line. Let's not forget that. You know, yes,
I suppose for me, Joe, well, where does he play for us? Are we bringing him as a left wing-back, do you think?
No, left winger. He plays at left wing. Yeah, left wing. We don't
play with wingers.
Okafor does though, doesn't he? Yeah. Okafor's definitely wider.
I mean, he starts out there, but and he's obviously left-footed, isn't he? I think we have been wanting somebody who can do that off with the right foot. You know, the opposite to.
I think I don't know. Maybe I'm obviously you guys might see the game different to me, but I've noticed and that we're seeing a lot of Wilson coming central, and is there a case of? He wants the out-and-out winger to keep that width out there and allowing Wilson, to come in.
Yeah, so you know what I mean? It's just a massive rotation.
100%.
What happens is when they've got possession,
look at Rodon.
When they've got possession, they go into when they go into possession. What happens is they almost go into a back four, and the two centre halves come round. Rodon goes into sort of a right back position. Bogle then keeps the width on the right hand side, and then what that does is that allows a crossing opportunity or a cutback opportunity for Calvert-Lewin that's in the box. But then what happens with that, because Bogle's occupied that space down the right hand side, Wilson comes into sort of a 10 position, and then what they want to do is pull the opposition towards the right hand side of the pitch, leave the left hand side of the pitch with less people there for the one sort of player that can unlock a door in Okafor with as much pace as we've probably got in the team, and the wide open space there. So they're sort of rotating the full pitch sideways, if you will, and all the players are going that way, leaving the gap down that side where you can sort of get in behind or come for a cutback. And I think, like you said, Luke, no, we don't really play with what you would call natural wingers, but if we are ever sort of in transition, they do look to hit the wide sort of channel balls earlier than you would do sort of with a four at the back and wingers, because that's where the space is, because everyone's been dragged to the other side of the pitch.
Yeah, we overload on right hand side as well, don't we? Yeah. So if it's Aronson or Wilson, and then like you say, Bogle's there, Rodon gets involved over there. Whereas on the left hand side, it's just Goodmanson and Okafor. We don't ever do that. We try and go as one on one as we can with them two, because they actually carry the ball. Whereas Bogle at times does the inverted, he actually gets up near DCL, doesn't he?
And everywhere, yeah.
It's madness.
And he did sort of the defensive version of that when he made the last sub on Saturday. Instead of Wilson being there coming into a 10 position, what he did was he took him off and he put Longstaff on. And instead of Longstaff then coming inside to a 10 position, he sort of came inside and made it a middle three, with then your Bogle wide up with Rodon covering that side of the pitch. So if it did break down because we were winning, sort of had a 3 in the middle rather than a 2 and a 10. And he sort of adapted it a little bit that way, and then left Okafor sort of on his own on that side. And a couple of times he nearly got caught, probably because he's not sharp enough. But the one where he committed a foul, I think, but the one where he got past the man as well. And that's what happens when you leave that space on that side. But we've got that option to either make it a 3 or have a man coming into a 10 role there. So that's what happens with that. And the space is there for a winger, is what we would call it. But the starting position is not necessarily the position that look to aim for when the picture opens out.
Yeah.
Great, mate. I think you fucking brought that down. Fucking
it's mint.
great. Yeah, nice one for that, Danny.
He's like Andrea, but without the accent, isn't he? The Barnsley accent.
Yeah, fucking yeah, man. Yeah, it's great stuff, mate. I really enjoyed that. So like sat there like I'm at school. Fucking yeah, I like all this, man. Yeah, let's rotate that motherfucker. It was good, but yeah, and someone like Mudryk, blistering pace, direct, can beat a man. I think it's something we do struggle with, and I think even Forest showed that as well. Really, I think it might have been. Was it Okafor who won the free kick as well, to be fair? I think it was, wasn't it? I think it was him.
No, it was Stach himself.
Or was it Stach? Oh,
he knocked it past the defender, and the defender just went straight into him.
Okay. But we do. It's definitely a profile that we lack. It's a definite. What did you say?
It says the lookalike.
Yeah, easy mistake to make.
I get the impression you don't rate Okafor, Joe.
Yeah. I think if you ask me,
well, I am doing.
You have. You just asked me. If there's one area on the pitch that I believe that we can improve this window, it's his.
I don't think he's a guaranteed. I'll be honest with you. I don't think he's a guaranteed star.
Like Dominic Calvert-Lewin, okay, it's going to cost you a hell of a lot of money and a great fine to replace him. Harry Wilson, great. I just think Okafor is a player that I know this might sound really disrespectful, but I think he's 10 a penny across Europe.
I'm going to disagree. I'm going to agree with that, but what I don't think in terms of strengthening, I don't think it's as important as signing somebody, not necessarily who can be better than Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but can do what Dominic Calvert-Lewin does.
I don't think you'll get it though. That's my point. Where can you get
when we're talking about improving, I don't think we need to improve that starting 11. I think we need to improve the options we've got.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Fair.
I think.
Yeah. Go on. Sorry.
I think with the Calvert-Lewin argument, I think it's not just the things he does going forward. It's how he relieves the pressure mainly. I think that's the main thing. When you're playing as a lone front man, probably the number one reason that you're playing as sort of an isolated front man is because you're not in the top team. Whereas the players that tend to be at the top teams, you know, your centre forwards that are up there, Haaland, Gyökeres, that are in the big teams, Havertz, they don't need to do that stuff, but they rely on them in that one moment in the box. But because the team's so far up the pitch, they don't need to be doing the chasing that Calvert-Lewin does. But what Calvert-Lewin does is he relieves a lot of pressure, allows us to get up the pitch, and it's really hard to combine that with the finishing that he did last season as well. Now, it might be a one-off season that he's had, but if it is, you know that he's giving you the other side of the game as well. So that's why he's hard to, not to replace, but to find a backup for as well. Because to have someone that does both sides of the game, it's rare, really, to find that.
That's why I was all over Liam Delap.
Yeah, I think it's. I've seen people. I'm going to maybe upset a few people in the chat as well, suggesting Jan Fleming. Can we please stop that? He's not. I don't know why everyone's gassing him that much. Same people that are telling me Jan Fleming are saying Delap was no good, but forgetting that Delap scored more than him in a Ipswich side, and it's the same thing. It's like people have short memories. I'm not
from that thing that I sent you today, Joe. They had pretty much the exact same season when Delap was at Ipswich and Calvert-Lewin was at Leeds. They both scored 10 goals from open play. They both scored the exact same amount of penalties. Delap actually had more higher intensity runs that season, but the thing was Calvert-Lewin's was more pressures and Delap's was more runs in behind. So he was giving them their outball was over the top rather than into him. So he was chasing possession rather than holding possession. So that was the two difference between them. Both the stats are just scarily similar throughout the whole season, from the full season that he had at Ipswich to Calvert-Lewin last season. Like open play goals, same amount of penalties, practically exactly the same amount of fouls won as well. Now people say that all he does is foul, Delap and things like that, but he won. I think it was something like 1% difference between the fouls that they won.
I think he's a great player. He's young. You don't come through at City, play there. You don't go to then Chelsea and want to buy Manchester United if you're a bad player. That's what I mean. But it looks like we're going to miss out on Delap. Just to move on from Mudryk, and then we'll have a look what we need in the wider thing. Most recent update, I guess. Isaac Johnson said Leeds. Mudryk. Let's have a look. Mudryk wants to join Leeds. Leeds really admire him. Talks are ongoing. However, it seems Chelsea are playing hardball and Leeds have their ceiling. Strasbourg are interested, but are aware of the player's preference, which of course is to stay in the Premier League. Again, just before we do move on, I'm going to upset people as well. Leao, not for me. Leao to Villa, let him go there. Same as Asensio did, bombed. Same as Rashford did, bombed. And now look at the situation they're in. Let Villa pay him mental money, not do great. And then, I'm just not as sold on Leao. I think people are getting enamoured by the name. Rafael Leao, what? To come to Leeds? Wow, that'd be amazing. I don't think he's been good for a while, but maybe tacticals and that'll tell me different. But that's just my thoughts on Leao.
Can I just get my Okafor comment in, Joe?
Yes, go on. Sorry, mate.
I can't help myself. I understand, I'm not saying he can't be improved on. I think every single player we've got can be improved on. I understand what you're saying. But I think we massively miss him. When he's not there, we don't have anything like him. And as much as I like Wilson and stuff, it will be interesting to see who's got more output in a season this year. Wilson had a brilliant season last year, but he's a very different type of footballer to Okafor. The one thing about Okafor is every single game can be his game. I do think, and I'm not comparing him to Wilson even remotely. But there's only certain types of games that Wilson can turn up in, and I do think any game can be for Okafor. So I do actually rate him. I sort of did, and then I didn't. And then when he got injured in Cup, I thought we'd be all right without him, and I thought we lacked so much when we were without him. I do think Mudryk's similar to him, to be fair. So I know what you mean where there's a few floating around Europe, but I do think if we'd have all got behind it a little bit more, I think it'd have been quite an exciting signing, really.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
And I thought he was genuinely, I thought he was really good towards the end of the season again when he came back in. So
yeah. Sam Byram's officially left. He's they've done a few videos. I'm actually looking forward to watching that. And he's done a little farewell message, just a little snippet from it. It says, having the chance to come back, I never thought it was possible. The last 3 years with promotion in the Premier League, it's been a hell of a journey, and I'm one that I'm incredibly proud of. Buzzing for Sam, buzzing when he came back, buzzing it went well for him. Loved him when he first came into the side under Warnock and stuff, and yeah, he was a real shining light in that side. So good luck to him at our reserves in Middlesbrough. They'll love that down there, but they keep getting our cast-offs, them and Sheffield United, which is exceptional. It's beautiful, isn't it, at minute? Because we had Leicester, they're now in League One, fucked, and then we had like Sheffield United and these clubs, and it's just great to be back in Premier League and just watch these other clubs in the mire. But let's talk about transfer window. What's left of it? Luke, what do we need? What would you like to see? Any specific players? Obviously, there's a goalkeeper situation, the guy Zetterer. But yeah, what are you saying with it? Do you expect us to get 4 over the line? What are you thinking?
No, I don't. What I want is somebody to challenge Dominic Calvert-Lewin and be there if he if he's ever unavailable. Touch wood, he's not. That would be my prime focus in this window for now. I know it's going to be difficult, very difficult, especially with reports that Delap it looks like he's going to sign for Forest. They were. I seen something. They were looking at 70 million for Thiago, weren't they, from Brentford or something stupid? So that's probably out the window for him. But for me, that would be my prime focus. I've seen reports that Perry might be staying now as a backup. I don't know how true that is. I wouldn't be against that as a backup, I don't suppose. I think James Justin is more than capable of coming in and doing a job instead of Gabby Goodmanson. He's proven that. But also for Bogle on the opposite side as well. Now we haven't got 2 James Justins by any stretch, but hopefully we don't need to, because we'll only be one of them out at any time. So I think that while people are probably going to say they want a left wing back or of sort, we have got cover, and good enough cover in my eyes. So yeah, it would be nice to see a 9 and potentially a goalkeeper. Or what happens with Perry? Those two would be my prime objectives for the rest of this window. Obviously, potentially an attacking type wing midfield. I know we don't play with traditional wingers, but it very much looks like Ramazan is out the door with Farker's comments about somebody who wasn't here in pre-season and not in the plans. They weren't here last season, that sort of thing. So it looks like his career at Leeds is over.
Mad. It's mad when you think he was like going to win Ballon d'Or and that, man. So it's been mad.
It's almost like some people don't know anything, isn't it?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? The same people who were shouting for Matteo Joseph to be like the Spanish number 9 by now and all that sort of stuff. It very much depends on outgoings, I think, now as well. I think if we do lose, if Ramazan is sold then or loaned with the view to a permanent, I think we probably do look at somebody of a wing or attacking type nature. But yeah, prime objective is getting somebody, because I don't think. Look, I think Metcha does all right when he comes in.
He's okay.
Yeah, he's very vanilla, and he does a job, but he's not going to be a
like if Calvert-Lewin got injured for 6 months, Luke, I'd be shitting myself.
Yeah.
I'm more concerned that the reports coming out that they're saying that he considers Okafor as one of the strikers if there is an injury. I sort of saw that the other day online, and I just don't think that would work whatsoever. I know he's played there before, but not in the Premier League. I mean, look at our back three to just gobble someone up like that. You have to have a bit of,
It's like be playing Dan James back up there, wasn't it? Under Bielsa, do you remember?
Yeah.
Fucking hell, man.
It's a hard sell. We're in the situation that a couple of years ago Spurs were in with Harry Kane, where it was Harry Kane every week, and they found it really hard to sign a backup. I think they went through, how many did they go through? I mean, they went through with that Vincent Janssen, people like that. And you're saying, do you want to come to Leeds? You're not going to play. You might play, but do you want to come to Leeds? And it's like, well, I'm not really a Leeds player if I'm not playing, am I? So it's a hard one. I think you might have to go younger. You might have to take a chance on someone and sort of say, look, what they've been good at doing, by all reports in every single sort of athletic article and things like that we hear, they're really good at selling the project. You could sell the project as you are the successor to when Calvert-Lewin's not in the team anymore. If you come to us, work your way into the league and things like that, I think that's the route they might have to go down, because I don't think you're not getting a loan because you're getting all them clauses with it. He has to play, he has to do this, he has to, because why would someone loan a player out not to be on their bench, but to be on your bench instead? So it makes no sense for them to do that. So you're then not going to sign a top-level striker for money and waste the money on a sub that's only going to play if someone else gets injured. So I think you have to probably go for someone young, someone that has got the same profile. Now, I don't know what they're looking for, whether they are looking for a direct replacement, but I think Nemecha's got that little bit of difference in him with the sort of, he's more of a moments, one could hit the corner flag, but one could hit the top corner. He's not as reliable as Calvert-Lewin in a sense of what you're going to get every single week from Calvert-Lewin. It's in that range of somewhere between sort of a 9 out of 10 and 7 out of 10. At his worst, he's chasing down defenders, he's winning the ball back, he might miss a chance, but that is what you get from him. Nemecha could be a 2, but he could be a 9. So that's the range that we're looking at with them. I think we need a younger player with a bit about him, bit of pace, bit of power. I saw the one that went to America, I think it was yesterday, would have been a good on a free, were Mbolo. He looked good in the World Cup. And someone like that, someone who I know he's not young, but it's taking a chance on him because not many people would take that chance. I know he's gone to America and it's a lower standard and things like that, but it's not going to be a massive financial outlay. You've seen what he can do at a top level, at international level. He probably knows, he'll know some of the players that we've now got, things like that. And I just think it's probably going to be something from left field that we get, I think. I don't think it's going to be one of these names that you see week in, week out. because none of the angles make sense as to why they would come or we would go for them.
Right, it's a great point you make. Do you know what? Just on that as well. Like I see a lot of people. I'm with Luke, Jack, in terms of I'm not really asked on a left wing back cover because I think James Justin does a great job there. I don't ever see him and think, fucking hell, we need a left back quick because he's getting caught out all the time and all. It's. I know Goodmanson's better, but it's okay with him there. So for me, the main position is left wing. It is left wing, obviously. Backup keeper, I'm not asked about. We will get one. We won't get one. It is what it is. We've got Perry. We haven't. Striker, I struggle to see how we get someone. I do that's gonna like Dan's just been mentioning, get anywhere close to starting. So yeah, I think for me the main position is that left wing. All eggs in that basket for me. What are your thoughts, Jack?
Yeah, somebody exciting.
Yeah.
You know, somebody that kind of what I was saying about Okafor, though, where you just, he's going to frustrate you a bit, but he's going to try and get past people and he's going to try and affect the game different from how we sort of, because we are very structured. I think, to be fair to Mecha, I just want to say as well, I'll probably get rinsed for this, but Mecha's like stuck in that, like, his actual individual quality. Right, Calvert-Lewin knows exactly what he is as a number 9, right? And Mecha, I think, has more quality as a footballer than DCL does. Edge at box, striking ball and stuff. I genuinely think Mecha's got loads about him. But his whole game, he can't touch DCL in the way he plays. So I think that happens to a lot of players. I think Mecha's got loads about him. I just don't think he can produce. I mean, he got some. He chipped in a fair bit to say he didn't play a great deal last year. But he got some good goals as well, edge at box goals and stuff. Like, he's a totally different player to DCL. But because we're comparing the two, and I actually think Mecha's he's an upgrade on Peru, isn't he? Puts himself about, and he's a strong lad. He's not, he can be a bit hit and miss, but.
I think the fact we've let Peru go out is a telling sign that we're going to bring somebody in.
Yeah, I think so. I don't, the club, I mean, Isaac Johnson's saying, the club are happy if they don't do any. And I don't agree with it. Because like a lot of people are saying, they've tried to sign a number of players in that specific position that Mudryk's in. They've had a look at a few of you, Pai Shao and all that keeps getting mentioned and stuff. But
you're not going to say you're absolutely desperate to bring someone in and then you
don't.
No,
that's what I mean. I don't believe that's being said. I don't think they are content. And I do think... They will go again. There's about 2 weeks left anyway, so we'll see what happens. Sorry, folks, I know we've run over.
Wild shout. What about a Jay Stansfield type striker?
What was it? Is he still at Birmingham?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody from the lower. Yeah, I agree.
The wild shout for me. There's probably everyone's going to scream and say no, but I think if
Bamford.
Is it Barry that continues to start for Everton?
Louis Barry.
I think
Beto
would be a good player for chaos in the last 10 minutes. If you're putting a player like that on,
he's
a bit erratic, but
he puts himself about as well, doesn't he?
Again, it's strong. The profile. It's not the player; it's the profile. Yeah. You can list 10 strikers that are probably 10 times better than him. Are them 10 strikers going to be 10 times better than him in a setup that we have? And the answer's probably no.
Yeah, and that's kind of. I think that's what I was saying, Danny. To be fair, yeah, because it is the profile of the player. Because you can go to Chelsea and get a young lad who's quality on ball and stuff, but that is not what we're looking at. Do you know what I mean? You don't want somebody that, Geldart had moments in him, didn't he? But if you can't, he's got to be doing it relentlessly in order to get anywhere near. Because he's just never going to be the target man for us or the number 9. So there's plenty.
Well, you know
players
yourself from playing football that if you've got a young lad, sort of an under 18s player or anything like that, he gets a call up to an open age team, and he might be the best player on the park, but he might be 5'5" and he might run in behind all the time and he might be scoring bags of goals. But you put him into a system where you're up against big athletes and just get eaten alive.
Yeah.
And that's not his fault. That's not his fault. He's just used to that type of football and playing that system. And I think that's why the data-led approach is everything nowadays, because they identify the type of player, and then it kicks out a list of players that adapt to your system, and then you do the eye test on them players.
That's why Stansfield won't work. I think he's like 5'9" or something. And don't get me wrong, he's got an eye for goal and that, but he's not set up to play in that sort of setup. I get where you're coming from.
I think that's great. I think great takes from everyone on that. Before we go, folks, just tomorrow we play Forest again. It's a bit meh, if I'm being totally honest. I want to see plenty of rotation. I think Perry will start. I think Elvedi will get his first start. Got a few of the youngsters coming through, Linu and stuff that seem to be on the bench a lot and played little parts in pre-season. Be interesting if they come in. Obviously, you've got Tanaka, Mecha. Do we see? The thing is with Farker, he takes all cups serious. That's one thing I'll say for him. I think we'll see more changes from Forest than we make. I do think we'll see some. But I do think we'll make less than what Forest do, because the manager just wants to win football games. He wants to. I think he really wants to win a trophy. If I'm being totally honest, we did amazing to get to where we got to in the FA Cup, but the League Cup could be. Yeah, I think Jack, you were nodding along. He takes it serious, doesn't he? Do you expect many changes? And what would you want tomorrow? Like, obviously, you want to win, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to win a cup. I think I'm only one that wants to win it more than Farker, to be honest. I'm bang up for a cup. But I think you'll play like Longstaff. You know, we've got
a squad, haven't we now? You know.
Yeah, we've got plenty of adults in the room, haven't we? As well. I don't think he's just gonna. He might play a couple of youngsters, like you say, but I think he'll start Ampadu and stuff. You know, like people that are integral to side. To be honest, I can't remember were it last year when he played Ampadu at centre back in Cup.
I was just about to say. I think he'll play him. I think he'll play in the middle.
It's not necessarily about the positions they're playing in. He just wants to keep the core of the side in there, doesn't he? So I do think
he wants him on there for the standards and things like that.
Yeah, and that means he can actually then bring Tanaka and Longstaff in without having to change the formation up. Because if Ampadu's in there, he can't really play Tanaka and Longstaff, can he? So unless he plays 4-3-3.
Okafor will probably play, won't he?
Yeah, he said that he needs minutes on there. I think it'll be Trafford, Ampadu, Elvedi.
Do you not think he'll play Perry?
Trafford will play.
I think he'll play Perry.
I think he'll play Trafford. No, I think he'll play Trafford.
I hope he does, to be honest.
I mean,
I think he'll play Trafford.
So does everybody else.
No, but I mean, Perry were all right. I'm not even dead against Perry now that he's not the number one. But last year I thought he would. He did my head in. But just until we know what we're doing with him. You know, if he's to then stay until they know what they're doing, I don't think what's point in playing him. Just get Trafford some minutes in.
Yeah, because if he gets a hand injury, you know what I mean.
I think he'll put them three at the back. Elvedi, I think he might play Ampadu and Justin. Is it Linu, the left back?
Yeah.
I think he'll play Nonto right wing back, which he did in pre-season. I think he'll go with Tanaka, Longstaff, Dan James, Okafor, and Mecha.
I think that's about right. That's probably the team I'd go with.
Yeah, I think
that's stronger. Fair. That's what I mean. That's you know.
Nonto's injured. Yeah, Nonto's injured.
Yeah,
maybe Bogle there then for him. But I did think he did quite well in pre-season playing wing back. I think it were the Liverpool.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. He was flying forward. I still think there's something in Nonto. I'm hanging on for dear life with him, but because Joe's not having none of it. But
I'm not.
I just think that.
When was the last time he was?
He was the best player in that team we got that season that we got relegated, wasn't it?
Under Marsh, him and Rodrigo.
It was a bright spark in a shit time, and we've not seen that again since, have we?
No.
Really?
Yeah, but the reason he's still in the squad and Ramazani in is because he goes that way and that way, and Ramazani only goes that way.
And his attitude as well. You know, we saw the interview the other day. You know, his attitude stunk, didn't it? He according to sources, he was training on his own at the start last season when you know.
Yeah, he wanted to go to Everton, didn't he? Do you remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think, boys, I think we've covered all bits. Really, we want to get in. We did just have a couple of member chats. Jason said could be a good week. Best beat Forest tomorrow again, then Brentford on Sunday. Happy week, happy Leeds fan. I fancied us before I saw Brentford against against Spurs. I know it's only one game, but I was like, well, that's going to be a tough game. That is going to be a very tough game. But we are at
They
home,
aren't going to get
so-
the space they got on Saturday.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Jack, the away day talisman, says Ming. Your number one boy, or Jack, he's old Ming. NF,
Ming.
NF team talk for tomorrow. Oh shit, Jack's here again. Forget about it. Any clue? That's from Ming
Daniel
again.
Farker's team. Is that meant to be Daniel Farker's team talk for tomorrow? Oh shit, Jack's here again. Forget
all
about it.
right, yeah, I'll take it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, a bit cryptic, but
Oh, do you know? You're right. Okay, fuck.
no, I don't.
No.
I think that meant Daniel Farker's team talk. Not needed because I don't lose away from home, do I? It seems.
Oh, is that what? Right. Okay. there
I
you
don't
go.
know. I don't know. I presume so.
Yeah, thanks
Who
for
with
the
the
super
chat?
chat, Ming. Though, thanks for the super chat, but yeah, I didn't get it. Righteous One says, "Welcome back, Joe. You were never getting rid of us, legend, mate. It feels great to be back. It feels great to be back, and I will be back tomorrow for a watch along of that EFL Cup game and post match and all that." Thanks for the stream, Joe and panel. Great to have the final word back. It certainly is, Stephen. It's great to be back as well. I mean, the thumbnail was fucking elite, by the way. Everyone buzzed off it, apart from Luke, who went, "That is not a great picture."
I've got a tash.
What
when I
did
went to
Jack,
say-
with that.
Jack said to me, Luke looked like he's celebrating a goal in the 1970 final or something like that. He said, "Yeah."
I look like I'm starring in a German porn movie.
I love that, man.
Are we all at the parade on them?
What's that?
Are they
I
all from the
wasn't.
parade then? Oh,
I
right.
might have been
Majority,
actually, yeah.
Mine was.
Mine is, and Danny's is. I went on. Luke, yours is from Wembley.
Yes.
Yours
When
is-
Connor, what was the right back? Connor, the Welsh fella. Connor, who played for us?
Connor Roberts.
Roberts, yeah.
Connor Roberts. Is when he had the tash.
Oh, right, yeah. Because I was going to get the one where you were with Vinnie Jones, but you, and then there's one where you've like got bog-eyed eyes.
Oh no, it is. It is from then. It's from the playoff final against.
Yeah.
And Connor Roberts was playing for us, wasn't he?
Yeah. Was it Southampton?
It was when we got fucking beat.
Yeah, terrible, weren't it? It was bad. And then Jax is from one of his music songs in it, I think. Is that right, Jack?
I don't know.
I just took it off all your Instagrams, man. I took it off all your Instagrams.
I'm going to
Just went
block
and-
you if that's the case.
I went and snooped them all. But yeah, listen, thanks everybody for tuning in. Make sure you check out Ought to Know Better, Jack City of Leeds fans, and Dan will be a mainstay on the final word week in, week out. I just want to thank these lads as well, just not to put them on spot or out like that, but just thank you for agreeing to come on again and yeah, for being there and all that jazz. It means a lot. These three lads, I've checked in regularly, some of them when it all went to shit and that, and yeah, so big up to them. There are others as well that have, so I just want to show love there. There's a load of yous in the chat as well, like Des, I was speaking to him tonight, Mikey, Steve, a lot of yous, but yeah, not many within the space stayed true. These did, so big up to them. Thanks everyone for watching, and we'll leave it there. Peace out. Bye.